Hey everyone, it's Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission. I am a 14-year online reseller on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and I'm also a Whatnot live seller for almost 4 months now. And today and most Mondays, I do a ship with me what sold combo video where I package my items right here for you. I will share with you some information about what sold, including the price of the items and what I kind of think about them. I have some fantastic sales and I have a couple stinker sales, and I think we all can always learn from both of those things, including myself. So I will start shipping my items and like I said, just give you some info about them. Let's go over the numbers though. And this weekend was kind of strange because it was Thanksgiving on Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Let me know what you ate. What was your favorite thing to eat? Did you overeat? Did you have your leftovers already? Happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you all had a great weekend. But then it was Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. People are out and about. They're traveling. Things were just a little strange. I did do a Whatnot show on Black Friday. It didn't go great. I'm just going to be honest, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So just keep that in mind. I had a Whatnot seller chat this morning where I just go live on Whatnot and we just talk all things reselling. And we were talking about how Black Friday was weird if you tried to sell things live. And mine was weird, but the weekend was okay. All that to say, people are traveling. It was a holiday. People are out shopping in the stores. And plus, little old me, I'm competing against huge sales. Amazon, Black Friday sales. People are spending their money on gifts, toys, all kinds of things that I don't sell. So it was okay. Let's get to the numbers. eBay. My eBay and Poshmark were actually slightly up from last weekend. Last weekend was $329.50 total, and that was a pretty low weekend for me. Last weekend was pretty bad, but this weekend was up a little bit. eBay did $347.83. Poshmark did $74. Poshmark is a disaster for me lately. Depop did $0, but that's not necessarily uncommon for the weekend, 2 days. So my total for Saturday, Sunday was $421.83. I did actually already get a couple more this morning that are not included in that dollar amount. So overall, the numbers are slightly up from last weekend, and I'm taking into consideration that I don't really have a lot of giftable items. Most of my items are used clothes, and not to say I gift thrifted items, but I just don't think it's a destination. Plus with Black Friday and all the big box stores having sales, I'm okay with this. I am okay with this. Just trying to consider all the different variables out there. People are out buying. How's your Christmas shopping going? Did you go out for Black Friday? And how did it go? We bought a couple things for my kids and from our couch online. That's what we did. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you're like a new tags person, or you do a lot of giftables, maybe even antique or vintage that are more giftable, toys, then you should be seeing an uptick in sales. Most of my items, I generally would not consider them to be a huge destination for gifts. That being said, like I said, every year actually my sisters and I kind of make it a point to buy something thrifted. Save it from the landfills. Something fun, something different. Speaking of, it's my big sister's birthday today. My sister Stephanie. Everyone say happy birthday. Give her a happy birthday wish, and we will get going on this shipping, and I will share with you what is selling for me. Actually, I should get this big one out of the way so it's not on top. And this is a fantastic sale. I found this at the outlet bins. I swear sometimes just perusing right before I leave and seeing if there's anything on top like people threw back or decided they didn't want, sometimes ends up being some of my best sales. this was one of them. Ralph Lauren. This gorgeous puffer coat. It is down feather filled. I found it on the top of a bin, like on my way out. And I'm just guessing someone decided they didn't want it. They were like, nah, I'm going to put this back. I don't need it, whatever. It does have this partial wool liner. And it is a longer length. It has like just, you know, typical Ralph Lauren details, just some really nice things. It's a nice longer length, zipper pockets. It is down feather. So all that to tell you that this sold, it only took a month to sell, which is fantastic. And I did price it very competitively, in my opinion, so that it would move before, you know, the season was over. People are buying coats right now. So I want to sell mine right now. This Ralph Lauren down feather puffer jacket in a size small sold for $42.14 plus shipping. That does sound like an offer my Nifty sent out. Usually the offers with funny like cents at the end are from my Nifty app, which is set to send out anywhere between 7 and 15% off to anyone who likes my items. Whereas something that sells, like I can see an item that sold for straight just $19 usually is an offer from the buyer. So $42.14. This is a little heavier. I would say this probably cost $3 to $4. And it's a big one, so we're gonna have to get a box for this one. So I am reusing a Amazon box. I put it in there real nice, and then I am going to top it with one of my poly mailers, because I always get worried that people are gonna cut this somehow or stick their scissors in there, and so I put it like that. I'll put one of my business cards in there, and let's see how much this one cost. So the box weighed 3 pounds, 3 ounces, going out to North Carolina. And we are going to ground advantage this one. And if, while I get this printed here, if you all don't mind, well, commenting for me would super help. Like, my YouTube has been kind of strange lately, and I could use a little boost. I could use a little love on my channel. So comment, you know, what you ate for Thanksgiving, or really anything. Check in. You guys know I try to get to every comment that I possibly can, but I could use a little boost. You know, these channels and algorithms, and you know, I don't even know half the time what is going on or why things do better than others. But I could use a little boost if you don't mind. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to hit that button for me. Oh, I just sold something. This happens so many times when I'm doing these shipping videos. All of a sudden something sells while I'm in the middle of my shipping. Anyways, Ralph Lauren puffer jacket, found at the bins, $42 sale, and I think that's great. I am very happy with that sale. Now, this was an exciting sale as well. I found this over the summer at a church garage sale. It is vintage, made in the USA. It's a CC collection, made in the USA, 100% cotton. Usually they have like a more of a paper style tag. Look at this elephant. Oh. Yeah. Boho Earthy Leg & Look, size large, sold for $29.01. I did do a thrift haul on this this church sale. Like I said, it was probably June, so I guess it took about 4 or 5 months to sell. That's not terrible, but their prices were super cheap. They like basically were trying to give me things. I remember joking like, take my money, somebody take my money, because my total was only like $30 because everything was basically $1. And they were like, no, let's just do 20. And I am someone who can't sleep at night. Like, I have such a weird conscience that if like I feel like I didn't give someone the right amount of change for something, like I can't sleep at night. So I was like, no, please take my money. Either way, the dresses were $1 a piece. This sold for $29 plus shipping. Vintage, made in the USA, with a great elephant graphic on the front, and then I put boho, earthy, and lag and look. So sometimes my vintage items do sit a little bit longer, but that's still a fantastic sale, and I'm okay. Turning $1 into $29 in, 4 or 5 months is still perfectly okay with me. And it's going out to Maryland, and it will cost $6.84. I have a mix of poly mailers I'm using right now. Look at this one. Oh, isn't it cute? I love this. I did just get some new stickers in because I'm running low on stickers. But once you put I'll put the thank you tag on here. Like, look how cute this little thank you is with these little Christmas trees. I love it. I do have a pretty big shipment to bring to my post office today. Bless them, they're such nice, good people, because I have a Whatnot show which had 15 orders, and this was a total of 18 orders between Poshmark and eBay. So let's do the math. 33 orders, 18, 15, right? So that's quite a lot, and it's a disaster outside. We got a foot of snow, so hauling these to my vehicle should be fun. I love this dress. The brand is Raga, R-A-G-A. Look at these pretty colors. You guys know I'm a boho babe. I love a lot of styles. I love to sell a lot of different styles, but I love the crochet with the floral print. The brand is R-A-G-A, and they do a lot in hippie, boho, bohemian style dresses. Raga floral long sleeve boho dress, women's medium, prairie and peasant. This sold for $22.99 plus shipping. It also has the tassels. Just a really nice, solid bread and butter. A little bit higher on the bread and butter. 23 plus ship. That's a good solid sale for me. I'm happy with that. But yeah, my door, when you get a foot of snow, things get messy. My husband and my kids were out shoveling. I got out there and help them too. This time I didn't though. It's a little messy out there. The curbs get real weird and the sidewalks are kind of slippery and things get icy and melty. So this should be fun. Anybody else here that was part of this big storm that just rolled through the Midwest? Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, a little bit of Indiana, Minnesota. I'm a weather nerd, so I like talking weather. And yeah, they predicted a foot, and we got a foot. Going out to Kentucky, it weighs 13 ounces. And so that's going to cost, to Kentucky, $6.60. In fact, when I logged into, I believe it was my eBay, it was Amazon. I logged into Amazon because that's how I was doing some shopping from the couch this weekend. It said at the top, shipping could be delayed due to weather. So I thought that was interesting. It was Amazon at the top, probably because my zip code is like in the area that was supposed to get a lot of snow. So yeah, that was another great sale. Again, though, as per most of my Monday What Sold videos, we have such a interesting mix of things here. Obviously, the puffer coat makes sense. I mean, that's like a boho dress, right? That could be she's in Kentucky, according to the address. So I don't know if it's warm enough to be wearing that boho dress, but maybe for travel, people are starting to plan, trips, vacations, cruises. I have some other sweaters. I have I have a couple windbreakers. You just never, I have a pair of cowboy boots here. So you just never know what's going to be selling. This was an excellent, fantastic sale. I do a lot in vintage Y2K. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I do love selling this brand in vintage. the pyramid collection. See how this is like the old school paper tag. You can see some of the dye has worn off on it. Vintage Y2K, the pyramid collection, women's size extra large purple dress, fairy goth and whimsy. See, it's got like this burnout, artsy, dark colors. It's stretchy. I love selling things like this. Again, sometimes these items take a little bit longer, but this dress sold for $39.06. It also has these beautiful sequins. See all those different colors? $39.06 plus shipping. That is fantastic. Very happy with that. I did go to the bins this weekend. My husband drove me on Sunday because, listen to this, you guys. Okay, girl, I have been living, girl like me. I have been living in Wisconsin my entire life. But my thrifting car is, she's a little rough. And I started going, and my husband was like, well, the roads seem okay, but like, just be careful and let me know. Because it snowed all Saturday into Sunday morning, and they didn't stop until like 8 a.m. So the roads were still a little iffy. I'm pretty good. I get going, and then there's like a curve, and I go over this hill, and the wind, it was very windy. And literally, as I'm about to crest this hill, which I knew is sometimes a rough spot for snowy weather on the roads, the radio goes, yeah, we're expecting some winds today, so be careful of those drifts on the road. And Wisconsin historically has had several foot drifts on the snow, on the road, meaning the snow comes from one way and just piles on the road because it moves with the wind. And I crest this hill and I go over. Sure enough, the road is completely white for like a half a mile. And I'm driving in my little broke down car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going out. Wisconsin girl's gonna crash. It's not funny because, I have actually, long time ago, did a woo in the road. And I got real anxious, and I did make it through the white, the whiteout part of the road. I turned another corner, and there was another huge patch of white snow, like you could not see the road, and I turned around. And luckily, one of the reasons why I did was because I saw the snowplow in my rearview mirror go by after I turned, and I was like, follow that snowplow. So I turned around, and my husband ended up driving me there. And it ended up being okay. This is a reseller channel, but that's my saga of a huge storm. I wanted to go out thrifting, had to turn around because my anxiety went real high. And to be fair, you couldn't see the roads. Like, they were pure white, and it was blowing across the road. And I was like, yeah, probably not a good idea. Let's turn around. And I followed the snowplow, like obviously very far back. But I saw the snowplow go by, and I was like, this is probably a good time to make a decision. And that's what I did. Wisconsin girl. Anyways, this is going to Illinois, actually. This vintage Y2K fairy goth dress. It is 15 ounces. Anyone else in the Midwest, tell me your stories. How do you do driving? I've done it a million times. But when you turn the corner and all you see is white, I can't see. 617. This was 15 ounces, so it's a little bit heavier. 617 on that dress. What a fantastic sale, though. And again, like, that's not really a winter item. It's a dress. So maybe they're going on a trip, or maybe they're going to pair it with I can see like a leather jacket and some high boots, like going out on the town. Could be really cute. All right, let's see what else I have to ship out here. So we do have a couple stinker sales. This is an okay sale. I thought it was going to do better. Sometimes that is what it is. This is J. Crew lamb's wool sweater. this like classic kind of blue on blue stripe. I do like the brown zipper. J. Crew size large pullover sweater, 100% lamb's wool. Only went for $19. Not terrible, but I kind of thought with the lamb's wool, it would go for a little bit more. But again, I am trying to move things out. I'm accepting offers. That one was on an offer from the buyer, and clear things out for 2026. So, and now's the time. Now's the time to sell your sweaters and your jackets. So I'm trying to be understanding about that as well. Get them moving. Going out to Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I want to hear from like my Florida people. Have you ever even driven in snow? Like, you guys don't really get snow, do you? Every once in a while? You know, it can be a lot, and it's better be safe than sorry in my opinion. So 14 ounces. My little car that I sometimes drive, she's a runner. She's like, they call it like a beater with the heater type of deal. So luckily it has heat. It doesn't have AC, and like it's got a lot of lights on, and it probably wasn't the best to be driving in the snowstorm, but I was like, I got this. Nope, don't have this. Turn around. Don't have it. Don't have this. But then my husband and I got to go thrifting together. He came to the bins with me. He noted that the bins, he's like, I don't remember them being piled so high. And I was like, you're right. Our bins, the piles, like how high they are stacked, have been getting higher and higher. And there's been more and more junk. And I feel like they're not getting rid of anything, and they just keep piling it higher and higher. And I think they just need to like get rid of some of the stuff. I don't understand. This is a vintage Sunderland weather breaker of Scotland. Tartan plaid windbreaker, golf preppy. Here's the tag. Sunderland of Scotland. Can I get this in there for you? Sunderland of Scotland. Pullover windbreaker. Like I said, I put in the keywords golf and preppy, and I could see both of those being applicable here. This is $28 plus shipping, so I'm also happy with that. Interesting sale though, being a windbreaker. Maybe it's going down to like Florida where it's just starting to get chilly, and like if you're out on the golf course or something, the windbreaker obviously helps break the wind so you can stay warmer. And this brand is something to pay attention to. Sunderland of Scotland. I've sold it before. So this was sold on Poshmark. $28. They pay shipping. And after fees, I get $22.40. And I got this at the bins. So my profit is about $20 on this windbreaker. It's going out to New York. Okay. But still a very, very solid sale and a great flip. That did sit a little bit longer. I'm gonna say maybe six months. All right, what next? This is a cashmere sweater, and it didn't have a brand at the top, but then I looked underneath and I did a little research, and I was able to find it is 100% cashmere, so that's why I picked it up. It's a QVC, and most QVC items have the QVC on the back. So I didn't really have a, cashmere is fantastic and will sell well, but it's better when you do have a substantial brand connected to it. All I knew is this came from QVC. They have a lot of brands that they carry. Really cute though. Look at that ruffle. Super cute. So QVC cashmere sweater, ruffle, feminine, and I put in preppy. I don't know if that was preppy or not. $16.76 plus shipping. So that 76 tells me it was probably a nifty offer. And it's going out to Pennsylvania. Very soft though. I love cashmere stuff, or even a cashmere blend. Just a very, very soft, cozy material. And I think most people view it as a more luxurious material. Sold on eBay. So still a solid sale. QVC's items are pricey though. Oop. How many orders does everyone have going out? How was your weekend sales? How are you feeling about 2026? This is all 9 ounces going to Pennsylvania. $5.86 for shipping. I will have a couple more videos coming out, a goals video. I just did a sweater video going over the top selling sweaters right now, and I thought it came out pretty good, and the information is very helpful. So if you're newer and you're looking to learn, go back, and I posted it like 4 days ago. Very helpful in my opinion, and I think those types of videos are helpful for us all. All right, this is a brand. It was newer to me. I've only sold it a couple times. Sun Ice. It's another like athletic, outdoorsy, type of brand. It's a golf rain windbreaker. It's kind of athletic. A lot of like the coaches and stuff wear stuff like this. Could be for golfing. Coaches like, when they're out coaching. Sun Ice, size large, rain windbreaker, $15.91. Just an okay sale there. It's set for a while. If I found this brand again, I'd really make sure I was stacking the reasons to pick it up and that it was worth the time to flip it. Going to Michigan. Yeah, I have to bring 33 items into the post office. This should be fun. Yeah, and with the wind and stuff, things, start blowing around, and I had to shovel out my chickens, and then all the salt gets everywhere. $5.64 to ship this out to Michigan. So that's 2 windbreakers. To be fair, it's been very windy outside. Yeah, the snow that was a big storm. Now we won't really have a whole much coming. It's like the 10-day only has like a couple chances of snow. So, but it's going to be cold. I think this morning when I took the kids to school, my boys are teens and they never want to wear a coat. I literally said, it's 7 degrees outside, which it was. You have to wear a sweatshirt. Like I was putting my foot down. I said, now it's time, because my one son, he goes everywhere in a t-shirt. And it seems to be the thing with the teens. It's 7, okay? Heaven forbid the car breaks down. You are going to be stuck with just a t-shirt on. We can't keep doing this. Woolrich. This is a flannel, men's size 2XL flannel button up. This is heavier. I put plaid thick. This only sold for $16 plus shipping. I do love the plaid. It makes sense that it's selling right now. But I don't know, Woolrich, like it would have to be a vintage Woolrich, I think, in my opinion. And maybe some more stack, like if it was a wool blend or wool lined, flannel lined, something like that, because this is, in my opinion, this is a great item. It's double pocket, full button down, plaid, men's XXL, and I only got $16 for it in season. To me, that just is not as good as I would hope for it to be. What do you guys think? I just felt like that should have done better. I thought that would be like a 20 to 25. Woolrich is like Land's End to me lately. Quality items, quality brand, expensive, pricey, outdoorsy, adventure, doesn't resell for a whole lot. Eddie Bauer, a lot of them, The resale value just isn't there. The market is too flooded. So something I would be very cautious in picking up in the future. And this is heavy, so let's see where it's going. To Michigan. 1 pound, 12 ounces. Thankfully, since it's going to Michigan, which is a close state to me, it's only going to be $6.54, even though it's 1 pound and 12 ounces. So thank goodness for that. But luckily it's close. Now, if that was going to California, it'd be at least double that. At least. Michigan. I made up a strawberry lemonade. I get those packets. They're like True Lemon. So it's supposed to be better for you. It doesn't have aspartame in it. And I add my own lemon juice and a couple frozen strawberries in there. And it's pretty good. I get tired of water. I get tired of water. And I really need the hydration, you know. So we all do. Sometimes I have to change it up. I can't just do plain water all the time. All right, here's a stinker sale. This is Anthropology. That sold for $5. I've had it for forever. Probably over a year. Anthropology, the brand is Lily's Closet. There's the tag for you. It is a size small, and it was just a polka dotted blouse. $5. Tells you, you know, there's absolutely some Anthropology brands that do way better than others. This was a size small. I've only ever sold this brand one time. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It's just a blouse. $5 is all I got for it. So something to think about. Not a fantastic sale, but I'm happy to move it. I actually noticed some of my buckets are getting like more reasonably full. So that's a good sign that I'm moving some items out. And, you know, it was interesting. I ended up listing 15 items, which is my new goal, on Friday. Or was it Saturday? One of the days. And the next day, my eBay popped off. So I really do wonder how much that does affect our sales. If you don't list for a while, you know, I've heard over for many, many years, be consistent in your listing. And then I listed my full 15 and my eBay went crazy the next day. Is it a coincidence? Am I crazy for thinking that listing all those items that day may have had a substantial impact? Why did all of a sudden just go crazy the next day? Omni Wool. Omni Wool. This was only 20% wool though, size large. This is a base layer. Better if it was pure wool and maybe a better brand like a Patagonia base layer, Smart Wool base layer. You know, base layer are what it sounds like, you know, the things that go under the main layer of your outfit when you go hiking, fishing, camping, out, you know, wherever. You know, $9 isn't great for that, but it was only partial wool. Merino wool would be better. 100% merino wool base layer is really what you're looking for. So just okay, not great. Let's see where this is going to. Smart Wool, Patagonia, even some of the other brands like North Face or Columbia. If it's pure wool and it's a base layer, you'd get more for 10 ounces. Going out to Illinois again. It's going out to a campground. That's interesting. Wonder if it's someone who owns it or so that only costs $5.90 to ship. Omni Wool, just okay. Not pure wool. Sometimes, but again, it's a wool and I'm happy to sell, get some of these items moving out. I mean, people will start thinking, you know, to be honest, I was in a Whatnot show the other day and someone was saying, oh, I'm buying for my cruise in January. So, even though we're all thinking Christmas, winter, sweaters, there are absolutely people who are already planning, you know, they're buying summer stuff or cruise wear, resort wear, which is summer, spring, summer stuff. Another want sale, soft surroundings. This was just a large, petite long sleeve. It was solid color. Nothing really going on with it, but it was modal, which I love that material. It's very soft and cozy. This only sold for $5. So not great. Soft surroundings, I'm being much pickier on, and specifically I am layering all the reasons to pick it up. It has to be a larger size, no smalls. I'm sorry, they just don't move for me. Or they have to have something substantial. A really bold print, something colorful, art to wear, boho, 100% linen. This brand used to be a bolo, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's just not great. So, boom, boom. Going out to North Carolina. Gonna cost $5.86 to ship it out there. And we're already getting down there. So I have a couple more things here. These boots are made for walking. A sweater, which I have a story about, and a style-based skirt. So we'll get through those. So obviously Thursday we had Thanksgiving. So I went over to my parents. They did a classic turkey, and then they also did ribs. And then we all had a bunch of sides and stuff. I made a garlic and herb, like cheese ball type of thing. It had bacon, green onions, cheddar cheese. I feel like there was something else in there. And then you just serve it with crackers. So it's just like a cheese, you know, a cheese ball thing. And we had all the deviled eggs, spinach artichoke dip, veggie pizza, dill dip. You just load up your plate. My mom had her cookies there. My niece made some homemade mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, you know, all the things. And then Friday, my husband did surf and turf. So we did shrimp and steak on the grill because he had off. And so every chance we get where he can be out grilling, especially now that it's getting colder, it's probably not going to be as common. And that was really good. I love anything from a grill. Steak, and we stuffed peppers, and we had potato, you know, the normal grill stuff. Quacker Factory. I love this brand, and I don't know why this didn't do better. 2X Quacker Factory. I've been selling this brand probably for 10 years. Love the sequins. Love the red color for holiday. I only got $8.24 for this. My Quacker Factories normally do better than that, if I'm being honest. But now's the time to sell it. $8.24. Great holiday top. This will be perfect for holiday season. All December long, I could see this. And then you could wear it for, like, well, other events, right? Like an anniversary or something, but Valentine's Day. So a very versatile piece here. It was velvet. I just don't know why it didn't sell that well. But moving on out to Pennsylvania. Let's see what this costs. Quacker Factory. I love that brand. I know it's so itchy. 12 ounces out to PA. And then on he did Friday dinner, and then I said I would do Saturday. We were going to do a soup because we were going to be snowed in. Once they start saying numbers like 8, 10, 12 inches of snow, potentially 15, we know we're probably not going too many places. So we went Friday and got a few things, got a few meals planned out, and I did soup, salad, and breadsticks. The soup was creamy chicken spinach tortellini. It's one of my favorites. $5.86. So delicious. So I usually start with like a hearty base on a lot of my soups, honestly. You get a good quality broth. Not like I get this a bone broth actually from Aldi, which is really good. And then I season it really well, and I start with, you know, this one I did onions, carrots, and celery. Dice them up really small, throw the chicken in there, and then later after that starts, the flavors start combining. This time I added diced tomatoes to my tortellini soup, and I really liked it. It had a little bit of acidity, a little tang to it. Some people don't, and you don't have to. I do it different ways every time I make it. And then towards, you know, you let it simmer, let the flavors melt, let the herbs all get together. Everything just smells like a good herby broth in the house, which I love. And then a couple, like 2 hours before, I'll add heavy cream, sometimes like a cornstarch slurry, the tortellini, spinach. Yeah. Pretty good. Can't lie. That made me very happy. And it was warm and comforting, and we knew we weren't going to be leaving the house. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. We prepared ahead of time. So, what did you guys have? I have a couple things planned out. Shout out to the person who did Big Mac Sloppy Joes, commented on my YouTube for that. Made them, loved them, kids devoured them, husband liked it. It was delicious. Big Mac Sloppy Joes. It's just a fun play on regular Sloppy Joes. Did it. Loved it. Thank you. This is a Y2K brand, Gigi. I remember showing this in my thrift haul. 2X, just a solid black kind of whimsy gothic skirt, stretchy Y2K, whimsy goth, fairy goth, 16 plus ship. And that's about what I thought that I would get for this style-based item. If it was a little bit longer, that would have been better. If it had like more of a flare or some sequin details, that would also have helped it a little bit more. But you know, a lot of my style-based items, especially without a brand connected to it, go in that dollar range. $16 plus shipping. I picked this up at the bins. It's about a $14 profit on this one skirt. Going out to California. The tortellini soup, though, I'm telling you. I actually wanted to go gnocchi on it, like a copycat gnocchi, but they were out. And I've never made my own gnocchi, so I just get like the store-bought kind. But it was really, really delicious. And nothing is better than a nice warm soup, or even just a like a vegetable broth, like a quality one, not just like a whole bunch of you know, salt in there on a snowed-in day. You know, my husband and kids, they went out and plowed, and then they went out and plowed again. Snowblower. My son, they're so sweet. My one son went out, and he had talked about this for a couple days. He's like, Mom, I want to snow shovel Joey's driveway, our neighbor. I said, okay. You know, he was like, he talked about it for days. Like, okay, yeah, I'm sure we can do that. I'm sure you can do that. You know, he's like, is it time? Is it time to go? He's just very thoughtful in those ways, and he gets like all excited about it. Our neighbor is 69, and he's a cancer survivor as of last year. And he's somewhat stubborn. He was out there. All of a sudden, Coleman is like, he's out there. And I'm like, oh, no. Okay, get on the stuff. Let's go. Because, you know, he's, you know, like a lot of us. We want to be independent. We want to do it on our own. You know, and you never want to lose that. And I get that. And I will totally be the same. I'm totally going to be the same way. I'm gonna be like, no, I can do this on my own. And I'm going to be like broken down and not able to do it. But they went over there and they started shoveling all the stuff, and it was just a really sweet moment. I was taking pictures and smiling because my teen boys are growing up, and I just thought that was really sweet. And then they went around the whole neighborhood seeing who needed help or if they could help anyone. That's so sweet. Then they came home and asked for video game time, and I was like, well, what am I going to say now? You just help the neighbors, you know, clear off all their stuff. I'm not going to say no now. No, they're so sweet. It was very sweet. These, now I got these at the bins. I do pretty well in men's, like loafer, casual, You know, the other day I showed you guys I got a bunch of Hey Dudes from the bins. These are Sanooks. And most of my Sanooks go for $15 to $20. So if you're at the bins or a place where it's $1 for a pair of shoes, you could pretty easily flip this into 20 bucks. So these are 12 ounces. They are going to California, but 12 ounces, that's about $1 at my Goodwill bins, and they sold for $20. Just like a classic, like loafer, casual shoe. These, I've had forever. I thought they were going to do better. Look at these fun pointed toe cowboy boots. Really nice detail, but there wasn't a great brand connected to it. It wasn't Ariat. It wasn't, I'm trying to think of all the good, I haven't found a good pair of cowboy boots in a while. Well, I know some of you will name some for me. There was no good brand connected to them. So even though they were really cool design, pointed toe, real sassy looking cowboy shoe, they only went for $29 plus shipping. So that wasn't great. Oh well. And then this, I remember sharing this too in a haul video. Can you guys see that logo? I truly believe this is Burberry. See that? There was a couple signs, but especially on this logo here, it was made in Peru, 100% cotton, was fantastic, but the label was taken out of it. So I didn't label it to be Burberry, but I gave all the details of it. Like I took the pictures, the close-ups that give it, you know. See that on the zipper? Anyways, and you can feel it. It's very nice quality, smooth Pima cotton. The brand tag was taken out though. I sold this for $30 plus shipping, but I didn't label it as that because I can't prove it as that for the most part, and I just wanted to move it. So I put in all the details, the Pima cotton, the made in Peru, the picture of the zipper, and I just said men's, quarter zip pullover, and it sold like literally in 2 weeks. Someone probably saw the details and was like, oh, that probably looks like Burberry. But for $30, it's fine with me because I can't prove it, and I'm just not going to go through like a huge authentication thing. And there's no brand label on it though. So, what are you going to do? $30 plus shipping. So there's the last few items. I'm going to get this. I'm going to need to box this up and get this all out. 33 packages going to the post office. I am grateful. The Whatnot show did not go that great on Friday. Maybe I'll do a separate video about that. Everyone, please check in. Let me know. How are your sales? How was your Thanksgiving? What are we making for dinner this week? I'm going to do chicken fajitas. What else did I write down? You know what I'm making tonight? French toast casserole. I just know my boys are going to just devour it. Here's a little, I've said this before on my channel that sometimes being like truly thrifty is that you are thrifty in other ways too, right? So I have some hamburger buns, and I was like, what can I do to these hamburger buns? Because we've done all the things lately. We just did Sloppy Joe's. They have chicken sandwiches at school all the time. I'm like, I want to do something different. So I just, on the couch, looked it up. I'm like, what can I do with hamburger buns? And popped up how to reuse hamburger buns, gave you 10 different things. One is a French toast casserole. So I already have it prepped upstairs. You basically cut any type of bread that you have, right? I mean, ideally, if you're using a French toast, you're using like a thicker Texas toast, Italian toast type of bread. But if you're trying to be thrifty and find a new way to use like the hot dog buns that you don't need anymore, or you over-purchased hamburger buns, square them up, or you can Google it. Hamburger bun, French toast casserole. Okay. I have like 10 of them, and it's going to go in a 9x12 square. Milk, cinnamon, brown sugar, eggs, just your normal French toast mixture. Combine that all together, just like you would French toast, right? Put it in your 9x13 glass casserole dish, lightly oiled, butter, whatever you do. And then you top it with some brown sugar and cinnamon. and then you put a little bit of butter, like take a little, maybe a half a stick of butter and slice it and put it, dot it all over your 9x13 casserole dish and bake it. And you're gonna come out with ooey gooey French toast. You know, I'm gonna cut it into like 6 pieces in the 9x13. And I'm imagining I'm not gonna have anything left over. If you like something else, like some people said they added nutmeg or any of those type of like apple pie type of flavors, and then you could top it if you wanted to with some kind of strawberry syrup, whipped cream, whatever your family likes to do. But in the long run, it's a way to reuse a food you might already have laying around, like half a loaf of bread. What do you do with it? Leftover hot dog buns from a birthday party, right? I always have buns sitting around. Buns. I always have buns sitting around, and I sure do. And then kind of repurpose it into French toast. And I think it's a very fun way. Plus, you normally would have like a milk egg, you know, or you just go to the dollar store and get a gallon of milk and some eggs, and boom, French toast bake. Add some fruit, some sides, syrup. Away you go. Add some bacon. Maybe I'll cook up some bacon with it, you know, some sausage. Breakfast for dinner. I love breakfast for dinner. I do. All right, friends, this is a reselling channel, and we talk about reselling and thrifting. Where did my thing go? Oh, here it is. So, oh boy, $421.83 in sales for the weekend. Plus I had 3 orders already come in. I'm going to get this up Monday afternoon, evening is when I usually get them up for us. And I'm going to get this all, picture my big buns, hauling this all to the post office with 12 inches of snow and a possible ice. Let's hope I make it, because this should be fun. I love you guys so much. I have a couple more videos coming soon. I do appreciate you guys supporting my channel and commenting and everything. You know it means a lot to me. I love you. Love you so much. Bye.